Aussie means having a go, whether it's your first time or your 41st time. Whether there's a 10-foot drop or your opponent feels 10 feet tall.
Well, the whole nation has been waiting for this.
We have a go. Because great things happen when you have a go.
Yama, hello and welcome to Olympics Unleashed TV, brought to you by our friends at Optus. Happy Green and Gold Day! There is so much to celebrate in the show today. And I don't know about you guys, but my eyes have been glued to the television over the past week for so much jam-packed action ever since our flag bearers, Kate Campbell and Patty Mills, led us out in the opening ceremony. We also had Naomi Osaka light that Olympic flame to get the green light that the Olympics is going ahead. Joining me for all the fun today is Olympic gymnast and Ninja Warrior star Olivia Vivian, and also Rio 2016 swimmer Taylor McKeown are going to be here on the show with me. But first, I just want to look back at some of my highlights from the past week, and that has been seeing that raw reaction and emotion from our Olympians when they've realised victory is theirs. It's been so beautiful to see the smiles, the happy tears, and also their staff cheering on the sidelines, just like we've been cheering here at home. I have also loved the new Olympic sports that we've seen in surfing and skateboarding. In surfing, we had Owen Wright win bronze, which was absolutely incredible. And I have also loved the swimmers, have been unreal. Ariana Titmus has been amazing in the pool, and there's so much more jam-packed action to come. Taylor, Olivia, today we're celebrating National Green and Gold Day, where everyone across Australia is showing their national spirit. Liv, I want to start with you in gymnastics. You represented Australia at the World Championships, the Com Games, Olympic Games. What did it mean for you to put on the green and gold?
Oh, it's such a feeling when you get announced and you're representing your country at the highest level of sport. It's so special. But one of those moments I'll never forget was at the Olympic Games in the finals, nailing my routine, like down to sticking the landing on the dismount, and just knowing that I'd done my job, and then looking up in this sea of red, because we were in China, and seeing my dad and my brother in fluoro green and gold, losing their minds, having them there to share that experience, I'll never forget.
That would have been such a special moment.
So cool, so crazy. And then you're like, oh God, guys.
Yeah. I love it. Taylor, how about you? You've also been to the Com Games and the Olympics. What has been your most memorable moment wearing the green and gold?
It's a really tough question. I guess through swimming, Olympics is the pinnacle of our sport. So for me, when I was younger, it was about grade 7 where I literally wrote down my goals, and my goal was to follow in Liesl Jones's footsteps and go to the Olympics. So I guess Commonwealth Games is a bonus along that journey, and it was a stepping stone to get to that Olympic point. But I vividly remember when I touched the wall and saw that I had qualified an event earlier than expected, like a massive relief, first of all, because I was like, okay, good, I've done it. Like all of this work, finally going to the Olympics, awesome. And then second came the wave of emotion, and I started like crying just uncontrollably out of nowhere. And I look back at it now and I'm like, what the, like that's not me as a person at all. I was so soppy and just, I guess, really proud of myself for the work that I'd put into to get to that moment to be able to don the green and gold for Australia. That's what I mentioned earlier, that one of my favourite moments of the past week has been seeing that raw reaction and emotion from our Olympians, who we are so proud of. Liv, what has been your highlight of the Games so far?
Oh, I'm always biased towards gymnastics.
Love the gymnastics. I agree with you. No, I love it.
But seeing our boy Tyson Bull, he's I think become the first male Australian to make the finals. So he's on the high bar finals, which will take place in a couple of days. So don't miss
I'm
it.
definitely going to be watching that.
But yeah, seeing people push the boundaries of what's possible and step into that space. Really great to watch.
I could probably answer this one for Taylor herself. Her sister won gold. It was absolutely amazing, but I'm going to let Taylor tell the story because I want to know where you and your mum were and the reaction of just watching her swim and how incredible her effort was, and then to realise that she just won gold at the Olympics. Please talk us through that.
Well, it's interesting because when people have been asking me in the lead up for the last 3 or 4 weeks, how's Kaylee going to go? I've been so confident in her ability. I've just straight up said, she's going to win. I've been putting it out there into the atmosphere, being so confident, never once doubted her because I've seen the background work and I know the amazing things that she's been achieving in training. Like world-class athlete, in and out of the water to a T, you know, in bed early every night, up early the next day to go to training. So I've seen the dedication. And I knew when she qualified third into the final, she would have been happy because she didn't have that lane 4 spot. The pressure was off her a little bit and she could go out there and be a bit of an underdog. So we watched the race. She turned second at the 50 and I thought, okay, I know her back end is the best part of her race. And that's the moment where I was so confident. I was like, I know she's going to steam home. And then you saw in the last 5 meters, she lifted, touched first, and Mum and I, like, I couldn't put into words. All I could do was scream. That's the only thing that wanted to come out of my body. So I'm there and I was literally like, ah! Ah! Looking at Mum and we're all screaming like, what has just happened? And then Kaylee was claiming and then we all started crying and I was like, holy, like my sister's just won an Olympic gold medal and she's only just turned 20 years old. So she's super young and I think has really launched herself onto the international scene of swimming just in the most amazing way. And, you know, the job's not done yet. She's still got the 200 to come, which is my favorite race. I'm super excited. I know she's more of a 200 animal over the 100. So fingers crossed she can put together another amazing race and, you know, come home with a little extra baggage.
Yes, without a doubt, I'm sure she will. We were all celebrating exactly the same. I'm pretty sure I was like out of breath from just screaming when the I guess it just sort of come up that she had won. Everyone was yelling around our office. But can you just tell us, Taylor? I guess you guys growing up, both being swimmers, what was the dynamic like? You know, at home, who was the better swimmer when they were younger?
Yeah, we were really competitive together when we were younger, and we used to love playing in the backyard pool together growing up. So I guess that's kind of where our love for swimming really stemmed from. And then, of course, you progress through the school level, and then that takes you into club swimming. So Kaylee and I both really represented our schools and loved doing that. And then I guess just progressed through and took that up to, you know, the level of where we are now with Commonwealth Games and Olympics and whatnot. We don't really often get to face off, though. The only time we really race each other is in the medley events because it's kind of where our events cross over. And I vividly remember the one race where Kaylee beat my personal best time in the 200 medley. And I just knew, okay, well, it's all downhill from here. Like, she's got me. I reckon I've peaked in this event. She's still coming through. So good on you, Kaylee. Like, the one time we face off and you've beaten me, okay, awesome. And then to see her be so good at that event and then progress further in the backstroke has been amazing. I think as we've gotten older, that competitiveness has faded a little bit into more being supportive for each other. But growing up, it was definitely a battle of who can outbash each other and who can be the favourite child and who can make the other sibling cry more and look bad in front of mum and dad. So we were quite violent together growing up, as most siblings are. But finally we matured and now our love for each other is really strong.
I love that, and I think that is something that is so important. If you have siblings or friends, is be supportive of one another. Of course, a little bit of competitiveness is always good, but always be supportive and cheer your friend or sibling on at home. And if you are also celebrating Green and Gold Day, please use our hashtags or at Aussie Olympic Team, and our hashtag is Tokyo Together. Thank you to everyone who sent in questions to our Aussie team. To answer them, we're taking you directly to the village. We've got diver and TikTok sensation Sam Fricker and also one of our hockey stars, Rosie Malone. They're going to be answering all your questions for you with their masks on, as they're also following COVID protocols in Tokyo.
Hey everyone, my name is Rosie Malone and I am in the Australian hockey team called the Hockey Roos. We're here in Tokyo right now and we've actually had a few days of competition. We've played 2 games so far and got 2 wins, so that's really good for our team. And then we have a couple of big matches coming up before the finals kick off later on next week.
Hi, I'm Sam Fricker. I'm on the Australian diving team and we've been in Tokyo for nearly a week now. I don't start comp for another week, so lots of time in the village to get excited around the green and gold. And coming into Green and Gold Day, I hope you guys are at home, dressed up just as we are and excited for sport and as passionate about it as we are right here. All right, guys, so thanks for sending in your questions. We have a pile of them right here, so let's get into it. Now, what does your family think of you being at the Olympics?
I think they're very excited. I've seen lots of videos of my family back home watching the games as we've been playing them, and my whole lounge room is decked out with green and gold, and everyone's dressed up, and all my cousins and stuff are in my bodysuits and stuff that I have at home, and my mum has made lots of posters, so I think they're all really getting around it, and my mum is definitely my biggest fan, I'd say, so she is always like screaming and crying, and if I score a goal or if I'm walking out in the field, she's always very animated, so I think they're pretty proud, and yeah, they probably love the fact that they can now watch the Olympics, saying that they definitely personally know someone there. Yeah, so,
love it.
Yeah. What about you, your family? First Olympics?
Yeah, just really proud. Really proud and excited for me.
That is great, as you should be. All right, so we've got another question. What is the best part of the Olympic Village? Good question.
Yeah, well, I think that one of the best parts of the Olympic Village is seeing all the different sports come together. Normally for world events or big events in your sport, you just go to like a diving event or a hockey event. But when we're at the Olympics, it's all the events coming together. So I think the best part is really just the community feel of the whole thing.
Yeah, good. I also think another good part that I loved when I got here, which I think has been probably the most popular part of the Olympics, is the big rings that are sitting out the front. So you've got the big Olympic rings, and you've got like the water of Tokyo in the back. So I think that's been a very popular place for everyone to go and get some photos.
There's a line to get photos.
There is. Luckily I got in early. I think we're in the first day, so we just shot straight there. Got all the pictures we needed. All right, next question. Or did I ask the next? Or did I ask? You asked.
Who asked?
Oh no, I asked. I don't know.
Yeah.
Who asked? I'll ask again.
Yeah, I think it was
Okay. How do you manage stress and nerves?
Yeah, that's a good one, and it's taken many, many years to kind of find out what works for me. And every day I'm always working on that to make it better, but things like meditation and understanding that competition isn't the be-all, end-all. Like, we're here to compete, it's just another competition as well, but it's a combination of different things, and it's definitely something you work on every day, but meditation is a big one, and also just kind of being present and understanding, it's not the end of the world if you don't do your best.
Well, yeah, I think the thing is, like, there's always going to be lots of stress and nerves at the Olympics, because a lot of people have dedicated many years of hard work and training to be here. And so I think there's always like that initial stress when you start out, your first match or your first quarter or something like that. But I think, for me, I probably am lucky because I have a whole team of people around me out there on the field, and you have little moments to make up for any mistakes you make. But I guess for you it would be a little bit different, because it's just like yourself, and you have to make sure that your one dive is essentially as perfect as you can do it. So.
Yeah, because we got those 6 dives, there's no room for error, and it's individual. So when you're up there, it's just kind of you in that moment. I've had a lot of time to think about what kind of works for me during that stress. Because when you're too stressed, right, you overthink it, and that's not too great either. But when you're too relaxed, you don't put in as much as you need to either. So it's definitely a sweet spot you got to find.
So what's running through your head when you're standing up there on the blocks about to go?
When I'm up there on the board thinking about...
when I'm
up there just about to go, it's keeping it super simple. So I got like 2 keywords per dive. Then I just stay calm and run through those in my head, and that's about it.
Right.
Keep it simple.
That's good. Oh, I don't know whose question is. Maybe it's yours.
What is your favourite country to compete against?
Oh, my favourite country to compete against. I would have to say it is either Argentina or the Netherlands.
Ooh, why is that?
Well, because the Netherlands are like number 1 for women's hockey in the world. So I kind of like love the challenge of always coming up against them. And I think, Australia, our team has definitely been the closest at kind of like beating them. We always go to shootouts, and we're against Netherlands the last couple of years, so that's always really good. But Argentina, they're just a very passionate country, so I love playing there, first of all, because they're just so passionate, and the crowds are just full of people. I think I just love the passion that they have. So those 2 teams would probably be my favourites. Yeah. Oh, my turn. All right. What would you say to a kid who wants to go to the Olympics one day? That's a good question.
Yeah, for a kid who wants to make the Olympics, I'd just say if you have a dream to get there and you're willing to put in the work, then you can do it. Because everyone here who's on the team had a dream to make this team. and we've put in the work, and that's how we're here. So there's no difference for you or anyone else who wants to make the team. What do you reckon?
I would say definitely like enjoying the ride and the journey, because I think, like what we kind of touched on before, I think as long as you're having fun and loving what you're doing, then you're never going to feel like it's like a job to be out there training hard. And I think as you're going through your years of sport, I think try and take in as much, as many sports as possible, because I think they all probably help you to get to where you want to go in the end. And I don't think, you should probably limit yourself at such a young age. I think try and play everything, try and do everything, and just enjoy the journey. Because when I look back on my sporting career, I definitely think my most enjoyable days were when I was playing and all my junior stuff growing up. So yeah.
I couldn't agree more with that, actually. Yeah, when I was younger, I was playing soccer and I was so far from diving, but just trying out everything really helps you find what you actually love to do.
Definitely, 100%. How do you manage the highs and lows of sport? That's a really good question. Quite
That's a very
insightful,
good question.
Actually. Good question, whoever asked that.
Well, it's hard. I reckon that's probably one of the hardest things about it. Aside from putting in the hard work every day, it's definitely dealing with those highs and lows. Well, the highs are quite an enjoyable process to deal with, because you're just kind of riding the wave, having fun and enjoying it. But when you're hit with a low point, again, I feel like it's finding what works for you. For me, I like to write things out and then just kind of sit with my thoughts for a while and then turn it around from there. So I like to be by myself for a little bit, but everyone else has different things. But I do want to emphasize that that's one of the hardest things, I reckon, doing with those lows.
Well, yeah, I think it's even sometimes, and I guess for me in a team sport, sometimes you might be in a high because you've made a team, but one of your friends might have missed out. So growing up, I found that really hard because I didn't have to experience too many lows where I missed out on too many things, but it was always like, your best friend then missed out. And I think it's, I think from when you were young and even now, the biggest thing I think is having a really good support network of people around you. So there's always someone to talk to if you need to talk to someone about something if you're feeling a bit low. So whether it is your family or your friends or a teacher or maybe like your grandparents or something, I think that's probably the biggest thing, like having someone to talk to about it.
Yeah, that support network is so important, because being able to just get everything off your chest, even just talking about it to someone can make a world of difference. All right.
I think we're on to the last couple. Oh, it's the last one.
You can read it?
No, you can read it. I just wanted to check it was the last one. Okay, we'll both answer it. All right, here we go. Why do you enjoy the sport you do? Oh, that's a great one to finish on. That's the one we're going to start.
That was the one we're going to start.
Now we're finishing on it.
I think, I personally enjoy diving because it's a challenge every day, and it's always making me push harder to be better. And I really just enjoy the challenge, but also the feeling when you get it right, like the good feeling when you do a good dive. Well, that's matched by like nearly nothing else. So it's the enjoyment of the challenge, but also the feeling of when you succeed and do it really well. Yeah,
I'd agree with the challenge part. I think I think there's something out there that says you're not a master at your sport until you've done like 100,000 hours or something. And I feel for hockey, you're probably never feeling like you're a total master at your sport because there's so many different aspects of the game to work on. So I think every day when you step out there, you've got something to work on. So it's kind of like you are challenging yourself every day, which is what I think all of us love, is chasing the challenge at this level. But I guess for me, I've always loved team sports. So I did do like individual sports growing up and lots of running. And I think team sports is just...
You love it.
I love it. I love just being out there with the girls and having your friends to enjoy the highs with and bounce off. And I don't know if I can handle being an individual athlete. Maybe I'll try it out one day, might do diving, we'll see. But it's definitely the team sport aspect that I love. I think that's why I just love doing so many sports when I was younger, because of the team aspect. So thanks guys for all of your questions. We have really enjoyed answering them, and we think there are some really important messages in there, and I hope that you guys have taken a lot out of it and get to enjoy the rest of the Olympics.
Yeah, I look forward to green and gold day, and I hope you enjoy us answering the questions.
Tokyo!
I am absolutely loving seeing our athletes getting out of their comfort zone and giving something new a go. When I was younger, I feel like I tried every sport. I told you guys in the first episode, I played netball, touch football, did athletics, tried a little bit of soccer, tried a little bit of hockey. Taylor, how about you? Was there any other sports that you played growing up, or was there any other sports that you wished you played growing up?
I think most kids around Australia growing up try their hand in a couple of different sports or different activities outside of school. My mum was a softballer, so growing up I played T-ball, went to Queensland State Championships for softball, that kind of thing. And then about the age of 14, I broke away from softball. I also tried tennis when I was younger, but I hated tennis, unfortunately. I wish I was good at it. And kind of just followed down the path of swimming. Probably around the age of 12, I made that decision that swimming was going to be it.
Yeah, lovely. How about you, Liv?
Oh, tried everything under the sun, but I was such an active kid. Most of the time, if you turned your back, I was up something, like up a tree, on top of the roof. Oh my God, my poor parents.
Yeah.
But it got to a point when I was getting serious with gymnastics, because it is, a sport that's typically quite a young age. But I also really wanted to do rugby. And I think my dad was like, no, you'll hurt yourself, because you're a small, tiny, little skinny kid. Go do gymnastics. But yeah, I love trying everything.
And when you both were competing, only because I'm looking at this incredible sign behind you both, what was it like, Liv? I'll stay with you just to get those messages of support from everyone that's back home supporting. There's been so many incredible messages sent to our Aussie team. You can see the beautiful artwork behind us as well. But Liv, what's it like?
Yeah, when you're in the village, we'd receive fan mail every day, and it was something we got to open and feel the love and the support from Australia, nationwide. And just looking at this and all the kind messages, it's been a really unique and difficult lead up into Tokyo. So I think something like this just means the absolute world to our athletes.
How about you, Taylor? I guess when you were at the Com Games and also the Olympics, what was it like just knowing that there was a lot of young boys and girls back home really supporting you, or looking at you guys on the screens being like, I want to be there one day, which you absolutely can be. But what's that feeling like?
Yeah, it was lovely. We walked into our accommodation in Rio at the Olympics, and we had posters on the wall that had been dedicated to each apartment depending on who was in there. So we had personalised posters which kids had done at school in their classrooms, which was so lovely. And then when we got there, we had stacks of fan mail on our bed. And not only that, the messages that we were receiving throughout our competition was really touching as well, just to see how far our Olympic energy had travelled throughout Australia and how many people were wanting to show their support. It meant a lot to us, and it really did lift our team.
Beautiful. We absolutely love receiving all of your messages of support. And if you do post anything across your socials, please @ Oz Olympic Team. Also hashtag Tokyo together and have a go, because we want to see you have a go. And I'm going to challenge the girls to have a go. You know what? We're going to get that competitive side out of Liv and Taylor, and I'm going to challenge them to an Olympic quiz. It's time to test our contestants and your Olympic Games knowledge with a green and gold day quiz. Welcome to the show, ladies. And also BK, we have a special guest with us today. Who's going to win? Olivia? Taylor?
Sorry, Tay. I'm extremely competitive.
Okay. I'm happy to be an underdog. That's fine. We'll see.
All right. Let's get straight into it with our first question of the show. What place did Australia's 4x100 metre
gold?
Oh! Finish the question. Penalties.
Is there penalties for not finishing the question, or what do you guys think at home?
That should we be carry on? Half a point added on. Let's go.
Take the risk.
Okay, she's taking the risk. We're taking risks on this show. All right, the first point goes to Taylor.
Yeah.
Gold. Kate Bronte Campbell and also Emma McKeown and Meg Harris with a world record time of 3:29.69.
Woo!
Incredible.
Epic.
That's awesome.
Question 2.
All right.
A shuttlecock is in badminton. It reaches a speed of up to 320 kilometres per hour, which is as fast as light. That was A.
Oh.
B. Nearly 3 times as fast as the fastest animal, the cheetah.
B. Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
The answer is B.
Yeah, good job.
And that is really fast. How fast was
Yeah,
that?
I didn't realise
I
that.
think I
And
might
they're
be
so
that
tiny.
fast.
Like, how can you even see that?
Our dog loves watching anything with balls.
Back
or
and
shuttlecocks,
forth, yeah.
Back and forth. And you just see her on the TV. Yeah.
Liv's dog is faster than a cheetah, so that's the answer. Liv's dog. All right, third question. Australian pole vaulter Nina Kennedy broke the Australian record for jumping a whopping 4.82 metres. What is that the height of? A, the average door frame. B, a hockey stick. Or C, a Stanton bus.
See,
A hockey stick? How long are our hockey sticks?
come on, Nina's better than that.
She is.
Yeah.
She is, and Liv is right. C, a bus.
Yes.
That is incredible.
Yeah.
That's
And if you
It's
do,
really high.
if you go to her social media as well, she actually has that as one of her posts, her breaking that record, and it is truly incredible
Amazing.
Yeah.
to watch. So please go and check that one out. All right, question 4. Which of these sports is making their debut at the Olympic Games? A, synchronized swimming. B, surfing. C, hockey.
I think
I
we
think
can
it was
both
you,
answer-
Liv. I think
we
that
can
was
both answer it. It's surfing.
It's definitely surfing.
Yeah.
Surfing. And as I mentioned earlier, Owen Wright won bronze. That was an incredible feat as well.
Owen,
Wasn't that amazing?
Oh, so
cool.
happy for him. He looks
It
so
was
stoked.
absolutely unreal. All right, we're on to our final question of the quiz, which is number 5. Sports climbing is our speed event. How long does it take climbers to race up a 15-metre wall? A, 3 minutes. B, 6 seconds. C, 1 hour.
Oh, I was like, C's going to be really fast. I'm going to pick that one. Next minute.
See, if you get a chance to watch them speed climb against each other, it's
They're like
exhilarating.
monkeys.
It is
so fast.
unreal.
Yeah.
I cannot believe what they're doing.
The air time on that.
15 meters is tall. Like, that's
Yeah.
a lot. And you watch them, like, these holds as well, they make them look like jugs. They're not. They
Yeah.
are just
Amazing.
It blows my mind.
What's been the highest obstacle that you've ever climbed, Liv, in your Ninja
Probably that
Warrior?
crane we were talking about
Yeah,
earlier.
there's a crane behind
Yeah.
us, mind you, and Liv's here eyeing it off, saying, "Yeah." I can
She's
do
like,
that.
yeah, I really want to swing off
I wanna
that. And I was
climb
like, no, I don't.
Because in the final stage, we had Mount Midoriyama. It's
Yeah.
changed now, but
Yeah.
it was a 24-meter rope that you
Oh my
had to climb in
gosh.
under 30 seconds.
Oh my God.
I mean, these climbers would put us to shame, wouldn't they?
Yeah,
With 6 seconds.
absolutely.
But yeah, that's the highest.
All right, BK, who is the winner? Who won our green and gold day quiz?
What's that? I
He's
didn't-
deciding. I think he wants to give it to me out of sympathy. Thank you. I'll take.
Or is
I'll take-
everyone a winner today?
Yeah.
Everyone's a winner. How did
Yay.
you guys go at home? Make sure you test your Olympic knowledge throughout the whole Olympics. There's so much more jam-packed action to come. But thank you both for participating. Thank you guys at home for participating. You've been such great sports. All right. Our Aussies are representing Australia in 33 sports. We've already seen so much of the incredible action. There really is something for everyone. And again, I challenge you to move, learn, and discover more about a new sport. But let's take a look at what happens when Aussie skateboarding star Poppy Olsen and equestrian medalist Shane Rose swap sports.
The thought of being on a skateboard and doing any of that, it seems like a long way to fall. I'm much more comfortable being on a horse, I'll tell you that, than what it would be right here. Pretty impressive. How do you get that good?
Repetition of learning how to do it. You figure out the balance. Usually start on smaller stuff and then work your way up.
Yep.
So it's less scary and intimidating, I guess, but...
Yeah, because it looks pretty scary and intimidating to me right now. It's funny, when I stand here, it doesn't look that bad.
Yeah.
But I know that
big.
if I try and do that, it's going to end up pretty bad.
No.
So I think the safest way for me to do this is probably a bit more like this.
You got to do a little tic-tac.
Oh. That was a trick. I meant that.
You're a pro.
Do they have old man's Olympics? I'll be 110 before I could do this.
Really go on an angle. And don't try and go up at all. Just go like you're going along the wall, like this.
They're all not angles. They're no angles. They're all sort of straight.
Hey, you're tic-tacking. And then you can practice going really small and doing that on the ramp. A couple turns and turn around.
I want to do this turn thing. I'm going to nail this little sucker. Wow! First crash.
High five. Yay! That was great.
We've seen a bit of skateboarding. Want to see some riding?
Whoa.
Not so graceful.
It's still impressive. Oh my gosh. I'd feel, with a skateboard, I'd just feel completely in control. I mean, there's definitely harder tricks that you can do where you don't, but on a horse, I would not feel in control.
There we go.
That was, oh my gosh. I got so nervous that whole time.
So it's as much for me about educating him as it is training myself. I have to understand, like today, he's a bit agitated, a few people around in his own home environment. So he wanted to be a little quick at the jump.
Yeah.
So, you know, he had to, hey, stand up, mate. He's come to say hello.
Hello.
He might be having a good day, I might be having a bad day, and hopefully we make up for each other. And,
yeah.
You know, in my training, I try and educate him so that if I make a mistake, he fixes it.
I guess that's the biggest thing is with skateboarding, I'm like fully in control. I mean, learning new tricks, it's like different too, because sometimes you're learning new things, but I feel like it's 50-50 with the horse too.
Yeah, no, he's a good jumper, so makes it easier for us. How about you get on a horse?
Yep, I'm excited.
Okay,
I'm ready.
Let's go. 1, 2, 3. Off you go.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
So when you get there, just hang on. So put one hand on this in case he jumps, but I don't think he's going to jump.
Okay.
Come on.
Yay!
A natural.
That was really fun. So what is the true measure of success for you? Like, is it a medal or doing your best? Or
I'm really competitive.
Yeah.
So I want to win a gold medal, but more philosophically, I'm happier with a great performance than the result. And more often than not, if you do a great performance, the result looks after itself. And I think if I do that, then I've got a good chance of winning a gold medal.
Yeah.
So
I think you do too.
Skateboarding's the first time in the Olympics. You're going to be the first person on the Australian team in an Olympics for your sport.
It's really different and really new because I've always skated and competed, but this is just like such a new level and that everyone will have to get used to, and I'm excited to see how it turns out. Yeah. Define the Olympic spirit.
The Olympic spirit is about people coming together in a fiercely competitive environment with a common goal. We're all athletes coming to one place for a lot of people putting their differences aside and focusing on sport, and that Olympic spirit is, what we all dream of. So what about you? What's your feeling on the Olympic spirit? You've not been to the Olympics yet. Your sport's just coming into the Olympics. What is that Olympic spirit?
It's definitely very different for me and skateboarding because it's always like a trophy and a prize purse, I guess. So this is completely new, like doing it for Australia. And I think it's kind of cool that you're doing it for your country, and it's a new experience, but I think it's really cool.
When you compete for not yourself but for your country, and you go up there and your performance and the way you hold yourself and the way you react, it's not just yourself that's being perceived but our whole country. So then when we do well, I think it makes it even more special. And you know, be great to be standing on the podium watching the Australian flag go up and have the Australian anthem sung out.
Is it important to mix with the other athletes in the Olympic team? Why?
I think so. A lot of sports we're individuals. I mean, there are like rugby and hockey where everything you do is a team, whereas a lot of sports like skateboarding and equestrian is very much about your own performance. And we as an equestrian team have been trying really hard in more recent years to really build team culture, even though they're totally different sports, about preparing for your best performance on your given day, how you do that, and sharing those experiences as a team, as an Australian team, and getting that bond as an Australian team, not just as individuals competing for Australia, really lifts performance, even in those little ways, those little pieces of information that can give you a little bit more resilience when you get there, so that you're not depleted on your day of competition and things like that as a team we can do together.
What's it like having an Olympic medal?
It's pretty cool.
Yeah?
Yeah, you should get one.
I should get one.
All right, guys, now I'm going to challenge the girls to some surfing. How do you think you're going to go, girls? You ready for this?
Cowbunga, dude.
Let's do it.
Let's go! Thank you so much to these two legends who are amazing and are going to try out surfing after this. But please give something new a go, get in and learn a new sport and try something different. Because look, it's actually a lot of fun at the end of the day, right girls?
So fun. Amazing. Awesome.
Well, that's all we have time for today. Happy Green and Gold Day. Make sure you cheer on our Aussies for the last week that they're competing over in Tokyo. Tune in to Channel 7 for all of that action. Thank you for joining us on Olympics Unleashed TV, brought to you by our friends at Optus. I'll catch you back here next Friday. Yalu.
Yes!